The day I buried my neighbor's legacy. When I was a kid, my family lived in a small town where everyone knew each other. We weren't rich, but my dad worked hard fixing cars, and my mom kept the house together. Life could have been simple if it weren't for our neighbor, Mr. Kraus. Kraus was the kind of man who wore pressed shirts just to mow his lawn. He ran a construction company, had money, influence, and this constant smirk that told you he thought he was untouchable. For years, he terrorized us. It started with little things: complaints about my dad's car parts in the driveway, the sound of my mom hanging laundry, even the way I kicked a soccer ball in the yard. But it escalated. One night, I caught him in our garage, snapping photos of expired license plates on my dad's clients' cars. The next week, we were fined. Another time, he called the fire department because he smelled gas coming from our shed. Nothing was wrong, but officials swarmed our place like we were criminals. The worst was when my dad's small business finally got off the ground. Clients started trusting him, and word spread that his work was cheap and honest. That's when Kraus made his move. He convinced one of his buddies on the city council to push for zoning restrictions that forced my dad to shut down the shop at home. Overnight, everything collapsed. We had to rent a place across town for the business, and the costs nearly destroyed us. I swore that one day I'd make Kraus pay. Years passed. I grew up, studied engineering, and moved away. But I never forgot him. Whenever I came back to visit my parents, I'd see him. Older, heavier, but still with that smug grin. He still had his business, his influence, and his spotless reputation. Then, fate handed me a weapon. During one Christmas visit, I learned from a friend that Kraus's company had been cutting corners. Bad foundations, cheap materials, under-the-table labor. He was bribing inspectors to sign off projects. To the public, though, he was Mr. Community, donating to schools and hosting charity dinners. Nobody suspected a thing. I started digging. I posed as a potential client, requesting quotes. I spoke with old workers at bars, slipping them drinks until they spilled everything. I copied documents from the city records, piecing together how he'd hidden bribes and consulting fees. It took me months, but eventually, I had enough to bury him. Still, I didn't go to the police. No, that would have been too easy. He deserved something worse. I created a detailed dossier, complete with forged invoices, anonymous testimonies, and photos of shoddy construction jobs. Then, I leaked it to 3 places at once: a local journalist hungry for a scandal, the state's building commission, and his biggest client, a developer about to invest millions in a new housing project. The timing was perfect. The article hit the morning of the signing ceremony for the housing deal. By noon, the commission had frozen all his active contracts pending investigation. By evening, the developer pulled out completely. I wasn't done. See, I knew Kraus's pride was his legacy. He bragged constantly that his company would outlive him, pass down to his son. So I made sure the story spread. I bought ads online targeting locals, pushing the article to the top of everyone's feed. Overnight, his spotless reputation turned into a synonym for corruption. Neighbors whispered. His son, who had just graduated and joined the company, was forced to quit when his college friends mocked him online. His wife stopped showing up to charity events. And Kraus? I saw him once, months later, outside the grocery store. No pressed shirt, no smirk. Just a tired, broken man clutching discount bread. My parents never knew what I did. They only know that Kraus finally got what was coming to him. And me, I don't regret it for a second. Some people think revenge doesn't heal wounds. But when I see that empty construction lot where his office once stood, I feel something close to peace. Because the day I buried Kraus's legacy, I finally dug my family out of his shadow.